The M16 and AK-47 are two of the world's most iconic assault rifles. These weapons have been going up against each other for decades. This is Mr. D, and here's which gun is better between AK-47 and M16. History. The AK-47 was developed in 1947 and was first used by Soviet forces in 1949. It is also known as Kalashnikov after its designer. Since its introduction, it became the standard infantry weapon in service with the Soviet armed forces. This weapon was so successful that it displaced all other firearms except pistols, machine guns and sniper rifles. The M16 is a more modern design. During the Vietnam War, Americans faced that their M14 battle rifle could not maintain superiority over the AK-47. A replacement was needed. Subsequently, a new R-15 assault rifle, developed by Eugene Stoner, was adopted in the early 1960s. It was designated the M16 and became the standard-issue infantry rifle with the U.S. military. Concept, idea of the weapon. The AK-47 is a child of the Soviet total war concept. This weapon is simple in design and technology. It is a low-tech weapon that is cheap to build in large numbers. Its production can be easily established. The AK-47 is simple to operate and to maintain. Simplicity was the key of its success. This assault rifle is perfectly suitable for poorly trained or untrained recruits. The M16 is overall a more modern and more advanced weapon. It has superior performance to the AK-47 but works best in the hands of a well-trained soldier. Construction of the AK-47 and M16 reveal big differences between East and West. The AK-47 is a very traditional weapon. It is of conventional design and uses common materials, such as steel and wood. It is made using readily available machining technology. The parts are manufactured to less precision. From an engineering standpoint, it is a low-tech weapon. At the time of its introduction, the M16 was a very advanced weapon. The U.S. Army demanded for a lightweight weapon. It forced the designer of the M16 for radical advances in weapons construction. This assault rifle was made of lightweight materials. It used aluminum in place of steel and fiberglass in place of wood. Plus, the AK-47 has an advantage of simple construction. Range. The AK-47 uses 7.62 mm ammunition. This weapon is not really meant to shoot at a ranges of more than 200 meters. Its maximum effective range is 300 to 400 meters. Beyond that, it will hardly hit anything. Slimmer 5.56 mm bullet of the M16 weighs half as much than that of the AK-47. Also, it travels faster. As a result, the M16 has longer range and is more accurate. The M16 has an effective range of 400 to 500 meters. Plus, the M16 has a decisive advantage in range. Accuracy. The M16 is much more accurate weapon than the AK-47. It is much smoother operating weapon and has less recoil. The M16 is much easier to control during full auto fire. Recoil of the M16 moves the weapon very little due to its internal design. Also, its buttstock is lined up with the barrel. This feature additionally reduces the muzzle climb. On the other hand, the AK-47 is poorly balanced. Its internal mechanism that recoil are slightly off-center. Furthermore, internal mechanisms of the AK-47 are essentially big chunks of metal that move violently after each shot. Also, this weapon has a traditional position of the buttstock. All of these features combined cause muzzle climb after each shot. It makes the AK-47 very inaccurate during full auto fire. Plus, the M16 is much more accurate both in semi-auto and full auto modes. Penetration. The AK-47 uses a 7.62 mm round with a heavier bullet. Its bullet that is slower and less accurate. But its sheer power is indisputable. This weapon is superior in terms of penetration and stopping power. On the other hand, the M16 uses a lighter 5.56 mm round. It has a slimmer bullet that travels faster. However, punch of the M16 is not that strong. Plus, the AK-47 is superior in terms of penetration. Maintenance. Field stripping is essential if the weapon jams or gets too dirty to use. The AK-47 can be field stripped for cleaning within seconds without using any tools. It is made of large parts that are hard to loose in trenches or at night. This weapon is simple to maintain. On the other hand, the M16 is a much more complicated weapon. It is made of smaller parts. The M16 is more prone to jamming. Plus the AK-47 is much more easy to maintain. Weight. As the U.S. Army required a lightweight weapon, low weight of the M16 was the driving emphasis of the whole design. The M16 benefits from lightweight materials in its construction.
Also, it uses lighter rounds.
As a result, the M16 can weight around 30% less than the AK-47. On the other hand, the AK-47 uses little weight-saving methods. Plus the M16 is a lighter weapon. Reliability. Weapons jamming is one of the worst things that can happen in battle. The AK-47 has made itself a reputation for being a reliable weapon. It has a relatively simple operating system with generous clearance between its moving parts. That's bad for accuracy, but the mechanism is not that prone to jamming. The AK-47 has a malfunction rate of 1 per 1,000 rounds fired. The M16 has a more complicated design and this weapon is more prone to jamming. In the jungles of Vietnam, this weapon had a number of problems. It appeared that the first M16 assault rifles were issued to troops without cleaning kits and instructions how to look after this rifle. Also, the weapon used ammunition with a different powder mixture it was not designed for. Later many problems were fixed and reliability problems decreased greatly. The M16 has a malfunction rate of 2 per 1,000 rounds fired. Plus the AK-47 is a more reliable weapon. Sights. From the design of the sights it is clear that the M16 was designed to be more accurate from the very start. American assault rifle has a little peep sight on the back that can be flipped for short or long range. The front post sight is called bunny ears. Similar sights are used by Americans since the World War II. Sights of the AK-47 are very crude. It is clearly not as good as that of the M16. It has an adjustable notch on the back that can be set to a range of up to 800 meters. However, it is more of a psychological boost for untrained recruits. In reality, maximum range of effective fire is limited to 300 to 400 meters. Beyond that it will hardly hit anything. Plus the M16 has better sights. Production numbers. Since its introduction was churned out in millions. Soviet Union was shipping giant caches of these weapons to its allies and friendly states. Also, a number of factories were established around the world to produce the AK-47, its copies or clones. So the gun has spread all over the world. The AK-47 and its derivatives are now used by the armed forces of around 100 countries. No one knows how many of these assault rifles are in circulation, but this number might approach 75 million units. On the other hand, the M16 was more popular among countries, where the Soviet Union had less influence. United States also supplied the M16 to its allies in large numbers. Around 8 million of these assault rifles were built. This weapon was also widely cloned and copied. The M16 and its derivatives are used by more than 70 countries. Also, the M16 is the most produced firearm in 5.56 mm caliber. Plus the AK-47 was produced in much larger numbers. Overall, to sum it up, both of these weapons have their own strengths and weaknesses. Both of these weapons continue to demonstrate their effectiveness. And both of these weapons remain in demand. The M16 has technical superiority in 3 key areas, including range, accuracy and weight. The AK-47 has a remarkable advantage of simple and easy to maintain construction. If you liked this video, then please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.